Hey guys, Malice here with a bit of a SoulsCraft build primer. This video is intended for you guys to get orientated on the various styles of building for this particular project, which is the Cave City. I'm joined here by...
Hey, Nick.
Yes, and we are going to pretty much do a sort of run of the lost city of New Londo, or the New Londo ruins. Right now, we are preparing to go into the underground section where this city is actually located.
The actual entirety of the city is underground.
It is the warp to get there is /warp Cave City for you builders.
That'll take you to the location where the build that is supposed to be inspired by this location in Dark Souls is. And where it'll actually take you is a tunnel. One end will lead into the catacombs under the graveyard and the spawn, and the other end will lead into the actual build itself. Now the cavern is not hollowed out yet, so you'll have to do that. But there should be enough room under the mountain for a good-sized build done in this style. And as you can see, this cavern is very vast.
Yes, I'm preparing to sort of take a gaze at just how massive this cave is. So
it's kind of hard to tell because it's a little dark.
It is a bit dark, but that is the atmosphere at work, I would think.
Yeah, exactly, and we'll want to go for that effect as well. Very few permanent light sources.
Absolutely. As you can see, there's sort of these buildings. We will get into those buildings a little bit more in the video, but as you can see, there is a lot of different pillar-styled, castle-y like structures. Go ahead, Nick.
I was just gonna say, we just looked at that crack in the ceiling with light streaming through. I don't know about you, Mouse, but I actually wanted to really play up that effect for our build on this server.
Absolutely.
Multiple ones, and we can even use the light block plugin that Dylan coded up to really get a streaming in light feel.
Yes.
I really want to play up that effect. Make it look like something that doesn't use Minecraft's lighting engine. And I think that we can achieve that with the plugins that we have.
Yes, that's something definitely that would enrich the feeling of the server. You know, this part here is the actual entrance to get into New Londo ruins. As you can see, this wood here is very old, but not as old as the actual city. You can see that it was sort of made at a later time to sort of adapt what had happened to the city, which we'll get into also.
Yeah, so there's a very sad backstory to this place, which we will explain as it becomes appropriate.
Yes.
You can see there's ghosts, and he's owning them with his Zweihanda.
Zweihanda definitely at work, going for a strength build on this character. They are generally weak and can be one-shotted, but their appearance are actually tied to the lore behind this. Oh, here's a good point that I'd like to bring to you guys here. As you can see, there was sort of like this sort of ruined sort of archway in the hill of this staircase. That is something that we definitely kind of want to capitalize on, is having builds disorientated and merged into the terrain to simulate a ruined feeling.
Sort of like if Scott's watching this, if you remember that Golem City that you helped me work on, how I had a tower that was actually at an angle. It wasn't a 45 or straight degree angle, it was a natural looking angle, and it was sort of leaning up against the natural terrain. I want to do a lot of that sort of thing, and I know it's difficult to do in Minecraft, but it can be done. Ask Scott. I did it in Golem City with a
definitely.
tower, so it can be done.
Yes, and that's something we really want to capitalize. Now notice the style here of the actual building. We have a lot of those sort of rampart style walling where you have these pillars built into the wall. That's something that I genuinely love in builds, is having that sort of dynamic wall. So something like that should definitely be incorporated when making Cave City.
A lot of depth in the wall.
Absolutely. Take a close look at the textures. Our texture pack artist, a little shout out to Dale Jordan, very great guy. Should really take close attention here to the wall textures. You can sort of see that these are brick with lots of fungi and dirt and grime and sort of fading away kind of deal, like a old paint peel away kind of feel. Also, take a look at that ground. As you can see, they're like tiles almost, but they're very broken up, and there's fungus everywhere, but a very old, dead kind of fungi.
I think Dale has definitely succeeded in capturing all of that in the work he's done so far. So definitely put it to good use.
Absolutely. I guess now is a good time to bring up the lore of New Londo ruins.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw it in a previous shot when he looked down at the ground below all of these bridges and stone. I don't know if you saw it. It was really fast, but the ground was sort of covered in piles of dead bodies. I don't know if you'll have a better shot of it later on, but you can definitely see that there's dead bodies. They look sort of slimy and decayed and rotten.
That's actually
piled up.
Right. That's a valid point. I actually did not capture too much of the ground level of New Londo. I sort of did like a overview of the structures that are actually built in New Londo, but definitely down there, and you cannot see it well, but you do see sort of like these little glimpses of it. This city is pretty much I don't know what the word for it is. Pretty much
it was
down
sacrificed.
There. Right.
The city was the lore, the backstory of this place, just to give you a little idea. Now, keep in mind, none of it was told directly to the player.
Mm-hmm.
You have to figure it out through environmental clues and your general knowledge, paying attention to dialogue and item descriptions. So, one of the things that really is a piece of evidence for this, thinking that this is what the lore is the pile of dead bodies on the ground. Well, this city, the knights, the sort of guardians, police, knights of this city during its prime were known as the Dark Wraiths. Now, the Four Kings, who were actually the boss of this area that you fight later on, they were good kings, and Gwyn, who is sort of the Zeus figure, the leader of the gods, Gwyn respected their leadership. Now, as time went on, the Four Kings fell. It's not really gone into what exactly that means. They fell we don't really know what that means. They just they just became bad or something. So the Dark Wraiths began to become a force of evil, of darkness, spreading the abyss in the world. So the gods actually decided to flood the entire city, killing everybody who lived there. And you only find this out when the whole lower level is flooded.
Yes.
When you first get there, and as you proceed through the level, you open the floodgates to access the lower levels and drain it into a valley. And you can actually walk through, and you just see all the dead bodies piled up, and they're all grimy and rotten, and it's a really eerie effect, and you just sort of piece it together. So we're definitely, as time goes on, and as our lore, the lore of our server develops, we're definitely going to be telling you in on it, and we're going to expect you to be able to put those sort of environmental clues into the builds.
Yes, absolutely.
In that way. Now note these archways here on this bridge. It's very much the same style as the bridge that Jim did at the spawn. It's a similar sort of feeling here.
Yeah. The bridge that was actually it was a combination of me and Jim. I thought it was actually quite accurate in terms of how the style of bridges are done in Dark Souls. Here you can see I'm sort of looking around the scenic area. It's very hard to tell, but again, this is that darkness at play again. This is very, very eerie, very, very simulates like a blanket is over you. So, you know, definitely want that incorporated into this build. You can see there's crumbling of the passageway. Again, we see the style of walls here. But again, you know, these are the sort of things that you need to sort of put together. We're not asking you to recreate New Londo. We are asking you to make a build inspired by New Londo. So definitely take a lot of this that you see in this video and sort of just make up something, and you know, just use your creativity. Well, we're reaching the end of the video, so any last thoughts that you'd like to share, Nick?
Well, I would just say, you know, keep with the theme of Dark Souls, and I would say this area is one of the most iconic areas of Dark Souls. Its gloominess, its dreariness, really captures the feel of Dark Souls really well. That's why we wanted to take the time to do this for this area in particular, because we want it to be a really iconic area for the server as well. So yeah, really take what we've said to heart and try to incorporate it into your building and your design.
Yep, and also we'll be making more videos of this where we just sort of make a breakdown of specific areas and sort of inspire you, the builders, the artists, and the texture pack artists out there. So we will definitely see you later.